everyone. Today we're going to talk about writing your college essay and give you some tips and ideas and things to think about as you are preparing this writing that is perhaps different than any essay you've written for school so far. When we begin, I think the best thing to do is think a little bit about what makes good writing. What makes a piece of writing stand out and sets it apart from a good piece versus an average piece versus a poor piece of writing. And if you think about it, it's things you've been told your whole life. Good writing should have a clear message and a purpose, not rambling on. It should be organized so you can follow the ideas. Your teachers have told you for years to make sure you have good transitions between paragraphs and even ideas within those paragraphs. You should have vivid, specific language which shows you thought about the sentences as you are putting them together, but yet it should be very natural language, not like, ooh, I looked up all these really hard words on Google and threw them in to be impressive. You certainly don't want that. You want the language to be your own. You want varied sentence structure to add some variety to the piece. And as you probably have heard for years from your English teachers, you want to show what you are talking about instead of just telling with some good description. I like to think about it as breaking this down into what is your task, what is your audience, and what is your purpose. No matter what question you write on or what school you are applying to, your task is to write a short essay that gives a group of strangers insight into who you are. Your audience is a selection committee who knows you only on paper. Your purpose is to communicate your preferences, your values, how you think. And it really is meant to give the committee a glimpse of who you are beyond GPA and test scores and honors classes and things you have done. It cannot be stressed enough. There's no right or wrong way to do this, and there's no right or wrong question to answer if you have some options of what questions you'd like to answer. It all comes down to that single purpose of telling this committee of strangers really who you are beyond what they might see in a resume. You're going to see some different types of questions that various schools will have. Probably the most common is the who are you, where you would provide a one-page personal statement with your application. There's the why us? Why is whatever college a good choice for you? In that, they're really looking that you have had some thought into why you are applying to that school, what specifically about it appeals to you, and why are you, with your specific personality traits, a good fit. And then there's always the creative question, which seems to have nothing to do about you, and you'll get a list of crazy topics, or sometimes it might be an issue of personal, local, national, or international concern and its importance to you. When you look at a question like that, it's not about the question, it just goes back to that purpose of they are trying to learn a little bit about you, who you are, what you value, how you think. As you begin, I think it is helpful to think of yourself as making an argument or trying to be persuasive, and beginning by trying to brainstorm your strengths and your outstanding traits. This means who you are, not what you have done. And it's so easy in our society to focus on the what and the numbers and the accomplishments instead of the traits behind those things. You are not your GPA. You are not an ACT score or a list of activities on a resume. We are looking for the who you are behind all that. What are your values? What are your personality traits? What are the things that you stand for? And if you're having trouble thinking like, what are those things? It can be helpful to ask others what they think your strengths are. Perhaps your family, some friends, What are the dominant traits that they think of when they think of you? Now, for each trait, list 5 or 6 examples from your life that prove it. That's where the persuasion part comes in. If you are claiming, for example, I am a very resilient person, what are some examples from your life that demonstrate that? As you are brainstorming, look for patterns and connections and then group similar ideas together to come up with 2 to 3 main traits or values that you want to demonstrate you have. The format of your essay will vary. You may have, but probably not, you may have that very traditional 5-paragraph essay with an intro and conclusion, but most of the time it'll be shorter in a college essay than it is in a school paper. Most of the time the standard format is going to be a 2 to 3 main points, again 2 to 3 traits or values that you really want to get through to the committee, showing lots of evidence and examples from your real life. You don't want to repeat other parts of the application. They already have your resume, they already have your GPA and test scores and those other things. Sometimes it might not even be a whole page. It might be just a very short paragraph where they want one main point or aspect about yourself. Sometimes they will ask you to tell a story. You can do a narrative, which means you tell a story from your life where you don't necessarily need a formal intro with a preview. You simply need to tell the story and at the end wrap it up together to show what that story is revealing about you. All in all, you want to follow some of these do's and avoid the don'ts. Do keep your focus narrow and personal. Don't try to cover too much in a short amount of time. Keep it very focused. Use evidence to prove what you are claiming about yourself. Use evidence from your real life. Be specific, be sincere. Do not write an essay what you think they want to hear or the person you think they want to see. Be you. It's okay to be a little creative and certainly proofread. Do not tell the committee what you think they want to hear or be fake or use words you wouldn't normally use. Don't rewrite your resume. They already have that. You don't want to be too wordy. And don't answer 3 essay questions if they ask you only to choose one. Truly, they want you to follow directions. Choose the one essay that the topic or prompt that really speaks to your heart. These are just a few ideas to help get you started. As always, if you have questions, your counselor is here, so please reach out to them. Have a great day.